All right, let's dive right in. We've got this really interesting recap you sent over for IPL 2025, match 33. Mumbai Indians versus Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah, this one felt pretty significant.
It really did. Not just another game. Felt like a bit of a crossroads for both teams, didn't it? Mid-season pressure building.
Absolutely. You had MI and SRH both, kind of struggling for consistency heading into this one at the Wankhede.
Right. MI were 7th, just 2 wins, needed something at home.
And SRH, well, they'd shown promise, but also just 2 wins in their last 6. So, yeah, the stakes felt pretty high for both sides.
And then SRH win the toss, choose to bat. Standard enough choice, I guess. Put runs on the board, squeeze them in the chase.
Feels like the plan, yeah. Try and leverage that scoreboard pressure, especially at Mumbai's home ground.
And we saw team changes, too. MI bringing in Will Jacks, Mitchell Santner.
Yeah.
That's quite a shakeup.
It is. And SRH still seemed to be, searching for that perfect XI. You could really sense the urgency for those 2 points. The playoff race is starting to heat up.
Okay, so SRH batting first. The recap paints a picture of, a cautious start. They couldn't really launch, could they?
No, not at all. And you have to give massive credit to MI's opening bowlers, Bumrah and Deepak Chahar.
Wow. What did they do so well? The recap mentioned exploiting the green pitch.
They were just relentless, used the conditions perfectly. Keeping Travis Head scoreless for his first 10 balls. That's almost unheard of for him.
10 dots to Head. That just screams control, doesn't it? Sets a tough tone for the batting side right away.
Exactly. It sort of shackled SRH right from the beginning. And that pressure seemed to, linger.
Yeah, the recap mentioned they stalled in the middle overs, too.
No.
Even with guys like Abhishek Sharma and Klaassen out there. Couldn't find the boundaries.
That's right. They were trying, obviously, but MI kept it tight.
What was the key there? How did Mumbai manage that squeeze through the middle?
Well, a big part was Hardik Pandya's bowling. He was smart. Used a lot of slower balls, cutters. Didn't just rely on pace.
Changing the pace. Recognizing the conditions.
Precisely. It disrupts the timing, Batsmen are set for pace, and then suddenly it's not there. Hard to generate power. It's a really clever T20 tactic when done well.
Makes sense. And Cummins apparently admitted afterwards that 160 felt short.
Yeah, that tells you everything, doesn't it? MI's bowlers really executed their plans almost perfectly.
So 160 on the board, maybe a bit under par, but the chase. The recap called it dramatic but controlled. Sounds intriguing.
It had its moments, for sure. Rickleton gave them a quick start, which is always vital in a chase. Gets the dugout buzzing.
Yep, eases the nerves. Then Surya Kumar Yadav, vintage was the word used. That uppercut, the sixes.
Oh, classic SKY. Even though we only got 26 in innings like that, it does more than just score runs.
How so? Psychologically, you mean?
Exactly. But it's the fear into the bowlers, shows intent. It shifts the momentum, even if it's brief. It tells the opposition, we're coming for this.
Right. Even getting out for 26 doesn't totally undo that impact.
Not at all. And then Will Jacks played, a really crucial knock. 36 off 26.
The recap called him a balance between aggression and stability. How important is that kind of role?
Oh, it's huge. You need that anchor, especially after someone explosive gets out. Jacks didn't let the momentum die, kept it ticking, found the gaps, rotated strike.
Yeah. You can't just have wild swinging. Need someone to steady the ship. The recap suggested MI might have wobbled without him there.
I think that's fair. His composure was key at that stage. And then Hardik comes in.
And just explodes. 21 off, 9 balls, 3 fours, a 6. That's game-changing speed.
That's the finisher role executed perfectly, isn't it? Just takes the game away in a couple of overs. It crushes the required rate and puts immense pressure on the fielding side.
There was a bit of late drama, though. Hardik's dismissal, a review.
Yeah, a little flutter near the end. Keeps things interesting. T20 for you.
But Tilak Varma seals it. With a reverse sweep, no less. Stylish finish.
Yeah, winning with 11 balls left. That suggests, despite the odd wobble, the chase was pretty well managed overall.
Okay, let's pinpoint those moments that really swung it. The recap highlighted 3. First up, Will Jacks' all-round show.
Yeah, definitely deserves mention. 2 wickets for just 14 runs. That's gold in T20.
And the timing of those wickets overs, 10.6 and 14.3, right when SRH might have been looking to accelerate.
Exactly. Stemmed the flow. And then to back it up with that vital 36, it's a proper all-round performance.
The recap made a strong point. His bowling was impactful, and then his batting provided that stability MI needed.
Right. It wasn't just a cameo with bat or ball. It was significant contribution in both innings. Shows his value.
Okay, turning point 2. Hardik's acceleration, that specific over, 16.3, it sounds like it was carnage.
Pretty much. A short arm jab, then that helicopter 6. 15 runs just like that.
How much does an over like that change the game state, mentally and mathematically?
Oh, massively. The required rate just plummets. And for the fielding team, seeing the target disappear so quickly, it can be really deflating. Big psychological blow.
Right, takes the pressure right off the chasing side. And the third point loops back to the very start.
Bumrah and Chahar.
Keeping Travis' head quiet for those first 10 balls, the recap insisted this had a lasting impact.
I completely agree. When you muzzle one of their main weapons right at the beginning, it forces the batting team onto the back foot immediately. They have to rethink, rebuild. SRH never quite seemed to recover that aggressive edge after that opening spell.
Just shows the power of those opening overs. Okay, let's talk MVP. Always fun. Official award went to Will Jacks.
Makes sense, given the all-round contribution we just discussed.
But the recap floated this idea of an impact MVP debate. Jacks versus Hardik. How do you even measure impact in T20? It can be so different.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Jax's impact was, let's say, broader across both innings. Bowling economy, vital runs. Hardik's was sharper, more concentrated, but incredibly decisive in that chase phase.
So consistency versus a game-breaking burst.
Kind of, yeah. Jax provided value throughout. Hardik provided that knockout punch. Both incredibly valuable, just different types of impact.
The recap laid out the arguments well. Jacks for the two-way play and economy. Hardik for that insane strike, or was it 233? And turning the game so fast.
And it rightly gave a nod to Bumrah and Chahar's economy, too. Can't forget that opening spell.
But the conclusion leaned towards Jacks, mainly because he did it with bat and ball on a pitch that wasn't a highway. Does that feel right to you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
On balance, for this specific game, Jacks influencing both innings probably just edges it. Hardik's cameo was spectacular, no doubt, but Jacks' overall contribution felt maybe slightly more foundational to the win, considering the pitch conditions.
Highlights that versatility. Okay, and the most amazing moment. Hardik's helicopter shot.
Ah, yes. The one that went through the fielder's hands.
The commentator called it shoveled, apparently. Even though he got out, the recap called it iconic, a Hardik special. What makes a moment like that stick, even if it ends in a dismissal?
It's the sheer audacity, the skill, the intent, pulling off or even attempting a shot like that under pressure. It's pure entertainment. It shows confidence, flair. Fans remember those moments, successful or not.
Yeah, it's that T20 theater. So zooming out, the result, what does it mean for MI?
It's huge for them.
Yeah.
The recap noted they jump up the table, suddenly tied with a bunch of teams on 6 points. They're right back in the playoff mix.
After looking a bit shaky earlier on, that's a big momentum swing.
Definitely. A win like that, especially at home, builds serious confidence. Could be the spark they needed for the second half of the tournament.
But the flip side, SRH. Things look pretty grim for them now.
Yeah, the recap laid it out starkly. Only 2 wins in 7 games. Needed to win, 6 of their last 7?
6 out of 7, that is a mountain to climb.
It's an incredibly tough ask. The pressure is immense now. Every game is basically a knockout. They need to find form, especially with the bat, and fast. Margin for error, pretty much gone.
Wow. Okay, quick mention of the next game in the recap. RCB versus PBKS. A clash of styles, it said. Just reminds you how relentless this tournament is.
Absolutely. No time to dwell. Always the next challenge right around the corner.
Okay, so final thought, something to chew on. We've talked about MI's resurgence after a slow start, SRH's struggles despite high hopes. In a league like the IPL, so tight, so unpredictable, what single factor do you reckon is the most critical for building and keeping that momentum, for making that playoff push? Is it like tactical genius from the captain, star players firing consistently, team chemistry, or something else entirely?
That's a great question. It's probably a mix, isn't it? But if I had to pick one, maybe it's that ability to adapt quickly, both within a game and between matches. The teams that find solutions on the fly often seem to sustain momentum best. But yeah, definitely something to ponder as the season goes on.